Some time ago, very long ago, something strange visits the human family. Something so different from their kind. Something so different from what they know visited the human family. This has completely transformed everything we know now today as life or the world. It was like a different kind of entity, different kind of creatures from different places. There are a lot of studies of where they came from. There are a lot of studies of why they came. We are not really going to be going into that today. We are just going to be sharing the surface. Because there's this general narrative today that all reptilians are evil, all reptilians are bad. Please hold on, wait a minute. There is this general saying, as I was saying, that all reptilians are evil. There's this general saying that all reptilians are here to control humans. That all reptilians are here to breed slaves. There is truth in there. And there is also a lot of theories that are pointing to the fact that the reptilians or reptile, they were the one that poisoned the consciousness of a man and introduced ego. Okay. Does it mean that the original man, the Khalifa himself, does that mean he was ego-free? Does that mean he never really had ego? That's deep over there. But if a man never had an ego before the arrival of the reptile, what was behind the manifestation of man? Because the ego seems to be like the enemy of man, but same time, the ego is also like an engine behind that force of life. But how much energy and weight you put on that ego, I like this story, especially at this time, my voice keeps echoing, and I love to hear echo. Depends on how much energy you put on the ego. That's what depends on if the ego help you or it destroy you. What do I mean by that? Because I always tell people, the ego is not the enemy. The enemy is yourself, who cannot control the ego. Okay, if the reptilians are the one that poison the consciousness of a man by introducing them to ego, or by introducing ego to them, then we have to sit and observe the positive side of ego and the negative side of ego. What would man look like without an ego? What would the world look like without an ego? I know many of us are so conscious and we prefer to see a world of ego-free, a world where none of those things exists at all. But we have to put emotions aside and try to view it deeper. What is the driving force behind life without ego? What is this ego? Ego is that identical mind that you carry that keeps on creating an infinite identity for you, which means the birth of I is where your ego comes from. And that I can also be an awareness, because if we completely kill the ego, I'm going somewhere. If we completely get rid of the ego, the question now is, who are we? Nothing. Because you know why? The natural state of a soul is formless. It's nothing. But for as long as you have body, you need an identity. Why? Without an identity, depends on what identity you want to pick anyway, but without that self-identity, then in this space you are, you can never really be grounded. This is facts. So you must have that I. But what that I become is what matters. So the ego is important, because the ego remains the force that keep on pushing life. Let me break that aspect down. The force that keep on pushing light in the life, in the sense that that thing that keep driving you, even to the point now that you are in that womb, even to the point now from that womb, it's still pushing you. Now you are born, it's still pushing you. So there is something that is pushing you. Even when you are born, it doesn't stop there. You keep on growing. Even when you are growing, it doesn't stop there. You start developing arms, legs, everything. Keep on expanding. So automatically what you call life already is a constant expansion that never stops to end. That means it arises and goes and enter again and arise. That's why people call it infinite geometry cycle. It never ends and it keeps on rising, which is beautiful. But if reptilians are the ones who poison the consciousness of a man with ego, and if we observe the nature of ego, then we will see that the reptilian are both blessings and curse to us. I will phrase it again. These creatures you call reptilians, which they are everywhere, of course. They are everywhere. They are everywhere. They are a curse and a blessing to us. So it all depends on the edge you have. So that's why you see people ruling the world. These people believe the earth is their property. You see all of them, they like to rock with all these reptilians a lot. Because why? Their goal is to keep nurturing their own ego. Their goal is to keep on feeding their own ego. Their goal is to keep on expanding their own ego. But the ego that was given to man, like I said, is an infinite whole, is a curse and a blessing. But how you decide to nurture it is what matters. What do I mean by that? If you are a doctor, sorry dear, if you are a doctor and in the village you come out from, or in the city you are born, there is no doctor that has ever been able to do a successful eye surgery. Now you are a doctor. You just finished your doctoring school. You take it now as obligation. I want to be the first doctor in this city to make a successful eye surgery. I want to be the first doctor in this country to make a successful eye surgery. That force right there that is driving you, that force right there that is pushing you, that force right there is empowered by your ego. You see? So your ego can be positive. It can also be negative depending on the energy you now carry, which means the ego is not the problem of a man. The problem of a man is the inability to master the ego. So for you to fight to kill your ego, work hard to master this ego. Because when you can master this ego, then you will know that the ego has never really been the problem. But the problem we are having today is we have a world that the ego are controlling. And everybody seems to blame the reptilians for it. You can see the reptilians as a group of scientists traveling through these parts of the universe, trying to make contact with different people. Yes, there are many theories and stories that suggest some of them were cast away, their home were destroyed, so they were looking for other planets, other places to make their home. And they saw man, and they see that men have low intelligence. Men have low awareness. So they used man as a lab rat. They use men as a lab rat to practice what they know best. But the thing now is this. Reptilians visited every tribes and every culture. Reptilians, they have different colors. So you cannot say a Caucasian is a reptilian, or Arab is a reptilian, or Asian is a reptilian, or African is a reptilian. No, they are splitted. They are splitted among all these tribes, all these cultures, and all these people. And for as long as they are splitted, they will always disguise themselves in a way that you can never imagine. But what I want to share with you this evening is all reptilians are not just evil as they made you to believe. All reptilians are not just completely evil. Many reptilians are doing a lot of work with a lot of creatures and entity, which also mean good for this humanity as a whole. So we have to know how to draw the lines. But the problem we are having today now is some groups of these same reptilians, they see it as a complete necessary mission for them to be in charge of this earth. They start shape-shifting, taking the shape of a man, which means your own president can be a reptile. You will not even know. People you trust your life with, people you respect so much, people you worship, many of them are not even humans. But does that mean they are all like that? No. No. We have some group of reptilians who are working in the same harmony of trying to bring oneness to this Mother Earth. They are even against the ones that want to make you their slaves. It's just like you have a group of terrorists and they get into a village, one group saying, kill the women, kill the children, kill the men, kill everybody. And the other one saying, why should we just do this? Why don't just leave a flag, like a stamp, that we are here already, it's our territory, and just keep moving ahead. This is exactly what's also going on. Everybody, all these reptilians, they are not all enemy of man. But we all have one question. How do we tell from the good and the bad? How do we separate these two? How do we know this one is good, this one is bad? How do we do that? That's where a lot of people get confused, and that's what made a lot of people make a strong decision that all reptilians are the enemy of man. But it's not so. It's our duty now to start understanding. It's our duty now to start knowing. It's our duty now to start paying attention to the reality around us. Like I said before, the ego, the reptilians introduced to the human family, have played a lot of role in our destruction, and has also played a lot of role in our growth as a human family. Without the ego, without pride, you will not have what you call now this this big society, big people all together today. You will not have it. So what you have today is a result of the seed the reptiles have planted. What you have today is a result of what was introduced into human family. And when I say what you have today, I am talking about all this development of the human family, the growth, the expansion, all these wonders that was all done. A man could never have done nothing. without that force that is keep on pushing within him. That's why today when you go spiritual, you go zen, your job reduce, your work reduce, because why? Now your ego don't rule you anymore. Now you are satisfied with what you can do. Now you show appreciation. Now you are just happy and you are just being you. And always at the moment. But it's very important to know that all reptilians, good evening. It's very important to know that all reptilians are not evil. All reptilians are not the enemy of man. We are still, a lot of studies is still going on, the origin of the reptile, from where they decide to come, and everything. But what is the problem now is the reptilians, some came on land first. Because don't forget, we were just in the ocean. The land was like a relaxing place. So people come to the hill, relax, and go back to the ocean. That was how it was functioning for a lot of millions of years. So the reptilians are one of the creatures that start stalking people on what you call now this dimension. This dimension can be a trap for you. That's why one of your goals is to free yourself so you can be able to ascend. Because if you die without being free, you can never ascend. Meaning you are stuck in this realm and the other realm. So then you now need a help to help you ascend. Or you can repeat the cycle again if you are lucky. But what I'm sharing with you is we have to stop demonizing everything. Just because we don't know it or we don't understand it, we are too quick to like, this is reptilian, this is bad. This is reptilian, this is bad. No, it's not like that. Not all reptilians are bad and not all reptilians are good. This is really what I want to share with you today. I'm just taking a walk and I felt like sharing this with you. I wish you all love, I wish you all peace, and I wish you all a wonderful day. Bye bye for now. Bye bye.